Hello everyone. We are working for a good company. We try to find some opportunities to implement our company strategy. Of course, we need to assess the feasibility of each opportunity to make sure they are fit to our strategy and they can meet other criteria. Now we have a project. Once the project is chosen, we will come to the question, how will the project be implemented? This section will illustrate three different project management structures used by firms to implement projects. They are functional organization, dedicated project teams, and matrix structure. The advantages and disadvantages of each of these structures are discussed, as well as some of the critical factors that may lead a firm to choose one form over others. One approach to organizing projects is to simply manage them within the existing functional structure of the organization. Different parts of the project are delegated to respective functional units, with each unit responsible for completing a segment of the project. There are advantages and disadvantages for using the existing functional organization to manage and complete projects. The major advantages are: there is no change in structure needed. There is maximum flexibility in use of staff. In-depth expertise can be brought to bear on the most crucial aspects of the project. Normal career paths within the functional division are maintained. However, there are some disadvantages. Each functional unit has its own core routine work to do. Sometimes project responsibilities get pushed aside. There may be poor integration across functional units. It generally takes longer to complete projects through this functional arrangement. The project may be seen as an additional burden that is not directly linked to people's professional development. At the other end of the structural spectrum is the creation of a dedicated project team. Teams operate as separate units under the leadership of a full-time project manager. In a projectized organization where projects are the dominant form of business, functional departments are responsible for providing support for its teams. Some are recognized as the strengths of this structure. The functional organization remains intact with the project team operating independently. Projects tend to get done more quickly when participants devote their full attention to the project. A high level of motivation and cohesiveness often emerge within the project team. Specialists from different areas work closely together and become committed to optimizing the project. However, it is expensive with full-time assigned resources and new project management positions. Sometimes dedicated project teams become an entity in their own right, and conflict emerges between the team and the remainder of the organization. Technical expertise is limited somewhat to the talents and experience of the specialists assigned to the project. Assigning full-time personnel to a project creates a dilemma of what to do with personnel after the project is completed. In matrix system, there are usually two chains of commands, one along functional lines and the other along project lines. Instead of delegating segments of a project to different units or creating an autonomous team, project participants report simultaneously to both functional and project managers. In general, there are three kinds of matrix forms. Functional form. The authority of the functional manager predominates and the project manager has indirect authority. Balance form. The project manager sets the overall plan, and the functional manager determines how work to be done. Strong form. The project manager has broader control, and functional departments act as subcontractors to the project. The major advantages of matrix form are: resources can be shared across multiple projects. This reduces duplication required in a projectized structure. A stronger project focus is provided by having a formally designated project manager. Because the project organization is overlaid on the functional divisions, specialists maintain ties with their functional group, so they have a home port to return to once the project is completed. Matrix arrangements provide for flexible utilization of resources and expertise within the firm. These strengths of the matrix structure are considerable. Unfortunately, so are the potential weaknesses. The matrix approach is predicated on tension or conflict between functional managers and project managers. Infighting can occur among project managers who are primarily interested in what is best for their project. Project participants have at least two bosses, their functional head and one or more project managers. Working in a matrix environment can be extremely stressful. In practice, decision-making can get bogged down as agreements have to be forked across multiple functional groups. This is especially true for the balanced matrix. Each structure has their own strengths and weaknesses. The question is, which structure that a firm should select? At the organization level, first question that needs to be asked is, how important is project management to the success of the firm, and what percentage of core work involves projects? If over 75% of work involves projects, then an organization should consider a fully projectized organization. If an organization has both standard products and projects, then a matrix arrangement would appear to be appropriate. The next key question is resource availability. For organizations that cannot afford to tie up critical personnel on individual projects, a matrix system would appear to be appropriate. Within the context of these questions, an organization needs to assess current practices and what changes are needed for more effectively managed projects. At the project level, the question is how much autonomy the project needs in order to be successfully completed. There are 7 factors that should influence the choice of project management structure. The style of project, strategic importance, novelty and need for innovation, need for integration, environmental complexity, budget and time constraints, and stability of resource requirements. The higher the level of these 7 factors, the more autonomy and authority the project manager and project team need to be successful. This translates into using either a dedicated project team or a project matrix structure. Whether a firm chooses to complete projects within the traditional functional organization or through some form of matrix arrangement is only part of a story. Anyone who has worked for more than one organization realizes that there are often considerable differences in how projects are managed within certain firms, even with similar structures. Working in a matrix system at a small company is very different from working in a matrix system at a nationwide or worldwide corporate. Many researchers attribute these differences to the organizational culture. A simple explanation of organizational culture is that it reflects the personality of an organization. Just that each individual has a unique personality, so each organization has a unique culture. Both the project management structure and the culture of the organization constitute major elements of the enterprise environment in which projects are implemented. That's enough for today. If you have any question or query, please email me or raise it in discussion box on e-learning website. Thank you.